So our beloved Can't Stop Lion will send me clips sometimes, and he and I both know we're going through this stuff, and there's a lot of repetition in the right-wing world, and it's beautiful because we get to watch right-wing. I got to turn down that the sound effects thing a little bit. Criminy, simmer down, people. That's too much. There you go. That's a little better. Otherwise, it'll just sound like Christmas every day. Every time someone super chats, an angel gets his wings. Thanks, Angela. Okay, that's better. So our favorite never-ending source of misery, Greg Kelly, has a video titled, "Barack Obama is a Big Phony." I can't. Barack Obama is a big phony. All right. Ease up there, pal. We know what you're going to get kicked off of social media by the big tech oligarchs for that kind of language. Barack Obama is a big phony. Now, I'm sure that Greg Kelly, unironically, will play some video of Donald Trump, he's starting out, this is calling out fake news, and he'll probably be one of his fake news things, and I can't wait to see if he imitates him, because he's his hero, he always does the hand gestures. At some point, during this, accidentally, without fail, my prediction is Greg Kelly will show a clip of Trump saying he's going to do something or that he never did, or claim that he did something that he never did, in retrospect. It's kind of like it's a pincer move of lies. It's going to be a clip of him going, I can fix everything. And then at the end going, I solved this problem, right? Afghanistan, anybody? Okay, and I'm going to make myself a little bigger because I deserve it, quite frankly. And I will make myself smaller if at any time Greg Kelly needs more space to throw a fit. Although he spends most of his time on this side of the screen. This business, over here. Okay. Okay, here we go. Diving in. Welcome to the Tempe Improv episode of Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Like and subscribe. Thumbs up. Here we go. Oh, boy.
Say, is that the...
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Look at the What? All right. I don't want to... I'm going... It's too fast.
All I can say is that the fake news just doesn't get it, do they?
Oh, my God. Is this the first time he's done this with clothes on? Look, we all owe Don Jr. an apology, because the perception has always been that Don Jr. is so desperate for Donald Trump's love that he will, blaze rails of coke made off of Rumble money, touting his dad's achievements just to not be left out of whatever scant pieces of the Trump org that are left over after Donald gets a bad batch. But this dude, that's amazing. The brutal desperation.
News just doesn't get it, dude.
Look, all the moves. Do you think Kelly, I have to believe Greg Kelly sent in an audition tape to Saturday Night Live, but he refused to do any derogatory jokes. I will only do my Trump impersonation if he's the hero in every sketch.
And they are still in a panic over Glenn Youngkin's amazing victory in Virginia.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're totally not, for the record. By the way, we've moved on. Even the initial panic didn't last, mainly because of myself and Rachel Maddow. You're welcome. I'm just saying. I'm their nightmare. I am. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry that I'm covering up the crap Fiverr graphics today. There you go. Look at this. This mess over here, this situation. That's just gorgeous. They went to Sixer for that one. All right, here we go. Yes, we're still panicking over Youngkin. Now, the fact that Youngkin had to run literally stiff-arming Trump, wouldn't campaign with them, told him not to come to Virginia. He did all these like cul-de-sacs of Trump purists, and then nowhere else. But yeah, we're all panicking. I'm totally panicking.
Virginia on Tuesday night. That was something, wasn't it? But the panic and the crazy things they're saying, how they're explaining this, it's offensive. He's
upset, guys. He's upset. Greg is very upset. He's been through a lot lately with his bus ride and the fact that Trump doesn't return his phone calls anymore. He's upset. He's upset. It's offensive that we're not more upset. Would you please get more upset?
Amusing, but mostly offensive.
Glenn Youngkin played the race card for a reason, because he knows it works on certain white voters.
Yes, certain white voters. That would be Greg Kelly's friends.
Stoke white grievance politics to mobilize the Republican base.
He's laundered Trump's really sort of disgusting, flagrant out racism. He's wrapped it in education.
Education, right, which is code for white parents don't like the idea of teaching about race.
That's the fundamental problem for these parents and this anti-CRT movement. They don't like the way whiteness is being portrayed in these new, more inclusive lessons.
This wasn't about those pocketbook issues. This was about how white kids feel talking about what black kids go through.
I don't think...
Oh, God. Okay, you guys know how I feel about CRT. We've talked about this a bunch. But it's more like a perfunctory, like an education trend. Like when I was a kid, there was a thing called Mulligan Stew. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It was like this weird hippie show. There was like a bunch of kids getting together. Now, looking back on it, it looks like all those kids were abducted, and I feel horrible for them. And they were all just like stolen from different houses, and this guy made them cook for him. But at the time, it was like based on the nutrition standards of the time, and the nutrition standards of the time didn't turn out to be quite right. Even the food pyramid currently, it's off and needs work. This is always going to happen. There will always be these kind of dust-ups. The school districts and other places will either try certain hats on or fail at them and that kind of stuff. But that's neither here nor there. The CRT stuff in Virginia we've talked about. But what we're really here for is Greg Kelly's depth of concern. Greg Kelly, insofar as I know, does anybody know? Chad will know. The Chad will know. Does he have kids? Because I've never seen him with another human being in the pictures he posts. In his office, at his home, like the ones he's proud of and he shows, there is never another human being in any of these shots.
Any of these folks understand, and they've been looking as closely as we...
They've been licked as closely as we have. I'm sorry, they what? Sorry?
I don't think any of these folks understand, and they've been looking as closely...
They've been looking. I like to look. It beats using your eyes, Greg. You know what I mean? Just go, wait a minute. Is that felt? Wait. No, that's not felt. What is that? No, don't peek. Don't peek. All right.
We have is at some of these amazing people who've stood up at these school board meetings coast to coast. I mean, white people, black people, Asian people, Muslim people standing up.
Muslim people.
Speaking so forcefully and so eloquently against this rotten critical race theory. These people deserve so much credit. But back to the fake.
He's okay. By the way, he clearly is in the Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson of like, look, there are Latinos that are on our side now. Maybe they'll show up at the meetings. Dear God, help us.
News. I think they've got an awful lot of hate in their heart.
This is a typical case of a white womaning, right? So we see the disrespect, we see the privilege.
White women have taken an active role in the maintenance of white supremacy.
Wait, hold on. I appreciate what you're saying, ma'am. Hold on.
White women
What is that, like, Nani washing pitcher and bowl set that you have over your
taken
shoulder.
an active role in
It's like she's got a midwifing museum on the shelf in her office.
maintenance of white supremacy.
White girls and white women, they get much more news coverage than other folks of different demographics when they go missing.
Why not the same media attention when people of color go missing? Well, the answer actually has a name. Missing white
He's shown this before. This is the Gabby Petito shit.
woman.
You can't layer this, dummy. Greg, you promised us that someone who looks like Joy Reid would be talking about how CRT is bad. There's footage. Go get it. You're playing the hits.
Jerome.
The privilege of this guy during his confirmation hearing. We saw white man rage on full display for everybody.
Excuse me. No, you did not. You're about to see white man rage. Cue Greg Kelly.
Be careful if you get angry and you're a white man. White man rage. Wow.
Sell it, Greg. White man. Wow.
But if you think this was bad, it gets worse.
Oh, dear. Dear God.
For the first time in history, white women may have surpassed their male counterparts in the whiteness scale. Blonde white women did a lot this decade. They advanced the cause.
I wish this guy would announce to the world how he feels about himself and color and its place in the world. Like, I don't know, wear a hoodie.
White women further than they have in any point in history.
Taylor Swift's decade was so white, like she became like unknowingly, or maybe she did know, that she was like a white supremacist icon.
A lot of white women take a dip in the pool of blackness.
They're basically taking everything all the beauty of blackness and whitewashing it. My advice to white women is man your own business.
Okay, this is...
He's going to the root for that. Yeah. Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, I remember when they aired this segment on Rachel Maddow's show, and I was like, more please. Whatever.
This is racist. This is ugly, but this is essentially mainstream now. The root.
No, it is not.
Has gone mainstream. That's a very popular website on the left, and anything left is accepted.
Is it? But you promised us this. Look, I understand that you think that videos of black people talking like the white people you talk to all the time about their race, the way you talk about your race, is very upsetting. But you promised to tell me how Barack Obama is a big phony, and I'm waiting.
About the race card. I thought about the race card when I saw this.
Dude, when do you not think about the race card?
You know who?
He's like the shittiest, he's like a Klan magician. Every card is the race card, and you smack the thing, you're like, they're all the same. All right.
At least
this is a trick.
Lifetime, I think, to coin the phrase. The legal defense team for O.J. Simpson. Who remembers where they were when he...
The Kennedy assassination moment for Greg Kelly's generation was where they were when O.J. was found innocent.
Was acquitted. That was some moment. And right afterwards, one of the lawyers seemed to have some regrets about how they handled the case. I mean, one of the lawyers on the winning side. Remember this?
Mr. Shapiro, you said in the beginning that race would not be a determining part of this case, that you would not play the race card. The race card was surely played.
Barbara, my position was always the same.
That I'm getting paid to get a double murderer off, and that's the gig, baby. Come on now.
Race would not and should not be a part of this case. I was wrong. Not only did we play the race card, we dealt it from the...
Look at this. Playing the race card is nothing new. Look at the title of this fucking thing. Hold on. I've got to move myself out of the way. This is playing the race card is nothing new. This is, oh God. Greg, we all know that Greg has been tortured by this since the 90s. And also, can I just say for the record, just as sort of a reset, if I may, that the seriousness of race issues in this country and how we discuss them and the depth at which we discuss them is very important. And that is why I refuse to take any aspect of this segment, these like slap together argument exclamation points that Greg Kelly's editors have thrown in, this like scooped together, like, see, I told you so stuff, all laid together in this thing, seriously at all, or Greg Kelly himself. I believe that people of different creeds, different races, different nationalities, different religions being able to get together and show care for each other is so incredibly important that I will never, ever, ever believe for a second that anything Greg Kelly says is serious or worthy of fearing. So don't get offended by what Greg Kelly does. You're playing into his game if you do. And now back to our program.
The race card. I think the race card almost always comes from
the bus,
the bottom of the deck. Now, it may have helped.
It's fucking poetry, people. Comes from the bottom of the. Sometimes they've got the race card up their sleeve. On a train bound for nowhere. Sorry.
O.J. Simpson.
Thing about the race card is you got to know when to hold it and know when to fold it.
Get off on that in that case. That was pretty wild, wasn't it?
It was wild. Do you just spitball these fucking monologues? Did they just? Are they trying a new opening with you, Greg, where they just give you footage like I get and you have to respond to it?
It's not helping the people. It's not helping black people, white people. It's not helping our.
It's not helping any of the black people in this photo, especially. If you look at all the black people in this picture, for example, do any of them look like they're being helped? There seems to be. It's Virginia voters reject Obama's race baiting. Is there? I don't know. There's something about this picture that it reminds me of it's kind of look like French fries, right? What's happening?
This bottom of the deck race card, is it? One bit. No. And when we
wait a minute. I'm sorry. I have to back up. Was that a sentence?
Bottom of the deck race card.
Wait, hold on.
In that case, that was pretty wild, wasn't it? But it's not helping the people. It's not helping black people, white people. It's not helping our country. This bottom of the deck race card, is it? One bit. No.
Let me, where was I? Was I in the middle of a thought? Is there something? Sorry, I got distracted by a giant picture of white people. It's my happy place. This is, by the way, just if you look up Greg Kelly's Pornhub account, it's just crowd shots of white people. Sorry. Just the only person who types in lots of white people gathered together in a comma tiki torch. I'm sorry. It's so wrong. Thank you, High Plains Drifter. Greg's script is rejected. Outtakes from Ingram. Yeah. He basically hangs out outside our office and does his barrel edition version of her show.
We see the race card played. It's ugly. Those folks on MSNBC who seem to not like, in fact, they seem to detest people who don't look like them. This is dangerous, scary stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure you felt the same way about the Trump supporters in khakis with tiki torches saying Jews will not replace us while marching to protect a statue of Robert E. Lee. Here's a good idea, Greg. Pop that up and go, I detest racism in all its forms. It's not good when anybody does it. No, you're not gonna. You don't have, your editor doesn't have that footage on. Oh, that's in your Pornhub search results too. Good.
I've been saying for a long time, though, that America is ready for a serious conversation about race.
That's his wussified version of Civil War.
Substantive conversation about race. But no, they're intent on having a silly conversation about race.
Well, I'm glad you're contributing in your own subtle way to that silly conversation. You silly little man.
For one brief shining moment, Barack Obama himself was ready to have that difficult conversation, but important one, when it came to race.
Go into any inner city neighborhood, and folks will tell you that government alone can't teach our kids to learn. They know that parents have to teach, that children can't achieve unless we raise their expectations and turn off the television sets and eradicate the slander that says a black youth with a book is acting white. They know those things.
Did you hear that?
Yes, we did. It's why we elected him twice. And by the way, you shit all over him at every turn. You never respected him for any of that stuff. Every time he brings it up and he gets in trouble because he mentions anything even remotely close to that, they play a tiny clip of it on Greg Kelly's show, and he goes, Obama's in trouble, and that means the Democrats are in trouble, and that means nothing, therefore, works. So, yeah, we remember. Yeah, I remembered it as part of why a large number of Americans voted for him. Yes. Yeah, we remember. It was lovely.
A black youth with a book is acting white.
Is not acting white. He said it is not acting white. That's the whole, that's what he said. And by the way, don't get offended, Greg. No one is accusing you of having books. How dare you? How dare you?
In any inner city neighborhood, he said that. He said that in 2004. Did you know that was an issue?
I didn't know about black things.
Did not know that was an issue. But I know if he said it in 2000.
Hey, dum-dum, it's a problem in rural white communities, too. They don't call it being white. They call it, like, not sniffing yourself. Or they think, they beat you up for being a nerd, that kind of stuff. It's been around forever.
It's not.
Different cultures have different versions of it.
Eradicated. It's not been turned around, because that is an awful mindset to have. He didn't just say it once. 10 years later, as president.
African Americans in communities where I've worked, there's been notion of acting white, which sometimes is overstated, but there's an element of truth to it where, okay, if boys are reading too much, then, well, why are you doing that? Or why are you speaking so properly? And the notion that there's some authentic way of being black, that if you're going to be black, you have to act a certain way and wear a certain kind of clothes, that has to go.
Meanwhile, Greg Kelly thinks that if you're white and you don't wear a MAGA hat, you're not a real American. Greg Kelly has a very distinct idea of what it means to be white.
That has to go, but it hasn't gone. And you didn't really...
It hasn't? It hasn't. In any of the clips you played, including the ones that you thought were the most egregiously anti-white, was anybody talking street? Right? The equivalent would be is you go, they don't let you be, you're not real and down home if you don't have a Southern accent, and then you show a bunch of clips of people who were born in the South who speak quite well.
Have that issue very much. You can tell.
By the way, I grew up with the same shit. I sounded like Elvis till I moved out of Kentucky.
He's very tentative. He feels vulnerable. He doesn't feel comfortable making this case because...
Well, because it's a sensitive topic and leaders have to choose their words carefully. You're not a leader, Greg. No one listens to you. Thank the Lord. So you can say whatever you want because it doesn't do anything.
The far left didn't want to hear it. And when he did it, only occasionally they'd attack him.
And that's what you would play, and you never respected it anyways. And so therefore, you are the worst of the worst in that you're a hypocritical shit.
he basically shied away from an amazing and important conversation that he could have led and probably could have brought on real change.
Yeah, the problem was everybody went, what do you mean having books and speaking properly makes you more white? Look at Greg Kelly. The most recent experience he had with the book was that Sean Spicer sat in his easy chair in his office to pimp his. Greg Kelly, whenever his entire exposure to books, and I shit you not these days, is holding them up for camera.
But instead, he played it safe. He was
he played it safe.
For Barack Obama, don't rock the boat. He had too much money to make post-presidency. He's still making the money, but now we know he can't swing an election. He tried in Virginia, fell flat on his face. And now, there can be no denying that this guy is a great big phony.
Finally, thank you. We get to he's a great big phony. That's good. Now, the things that he said that you liked, those things are no longer true, and you don't believe them, and you wouldn't present them because they came from a great big phony. A great big phony.
The big message of Terry's opponent is that he's a regular guy because he wears fleece. I'm glad that the guy can play basketball. You know, many of you know I'm a big hooper. So that's a good thing. You know, the guy can hoop. That's great.
What the hell is a hooper?
Sorry. Oh gosh. Oh, Greg. That's got to be rough. That's. It's. I don't know if you saw the movie. It's with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis. And a hooper is someone who takes a contract out on someone and goes into a time machine. That's not what it is. Hooper. It was someone, I think, somebody used to hang with one on a sitcom, I think it was. No, that's not it. Hooper. Hooper was William Shatner's, no, that was T.J. Hooker. Shit. So that was Looper, you're right, thank you, yeah. A hooper is when you walk your dog, instead of having a bag and a little shovel, you have a little, like a noose on a stick that picks up the turds. What the hell is a hooper? Could there have been a clearer description of what we just saw? That's what he came away with. I'm a hooper and play basketball. He can play basketball. Like, listen.
The guy can hoop. That's great.
What the?
Hold on, wait.
No, so that's a good thing.
Wait, let me hear.
You know, I'm a big hooper. So that's a good thing. You know, the guy can hoop. That's great.
What the hell is a hooper?
Yes, Hooper was a 1970s Burt Reynolds movie. That's what it was. Somebody tell Greg so he doesn't black out. Fuck me. What the hell is a Hooper? It's the weirdest things to get upset about. And again, if you do like Greg Kelly and you're not hooked up to tubes right now, I have a question. How can you get your news from someone who just watched a clip where something was explained and then comes out of the clip going, what was said? I don't understand what was said. This guy watches videos like Dan Bongino reads.
Excuse me, a hooper. You have basketball fans. Nobody calls it hooping. Anyway.
Nobody in my circles. I'm never around people who say hooping. It's funny. All of my friends Call it we ball the basket or we basket the ball, and that's how it do. We dribble, and there is no double dribbling. I won't even go see the Harlem Globetrotters. It's unorthodox, and it has the word Harlem in the title. It's very upsetting.
Yeah, Youngkin's a real phony, and you're the real deal, right? We saw you play basketball plenty. That was something that made you special. You used it for your own political benefit.
Yeah, and he said it's fine that he does it, but he actually does. We saw. You can't call somebody a phony for showing you something they genuinely do. I'll give you an example. You have seen video of Barack Obama hitting three-pointers and playing hard against real NBA professionals because he likes it. And what do we know about Trump? He cheats at golf. I mean, hold on. May I? Give me 1 second. Remember this. Now, I know this is not a... I need... I wasn't even expecting this. I just went straight in and clicked on the first link, which is golf.com. Kind of what would be one of the A-list sites on this. And this is what came up. How and why President Trump cheats at golf, even when he's playing against Tiger Woods. Adapted from Commander-in-Chief, hold on, get out of here. Let's see, adapted from Commander-in-Chief, How Golf Explains Trump by Rick Riley. I used to have this coach who told us, how you do one thing is how you do everything. You loaf in practice, you're going to loaf in the game. You cheat on your test, you're going to cheat on your wife. I found that to be true with golf. The guy who plays slowly on the course is going to be molasses in meetings. The guy who's generous with compliments on the course is going to do the same at dinner. And the guy who cheats on the course is going to cheat in business or on his taxes or, say, in politics. Jack O'Donnell worked with Donald Trump for 4 years as vice president of Trump Plaza Casino in Atlantic City. O'Donnell's dad was one of the founders of Sawgrass, the iconic Pete Dye golf course near Jacksonville, Florida. Now, understand, Obama was known to play basketball, and this was a constant thing, and he talked about it, and he liked it. But golf is not just something Trump does all the time. He golfed more than any president in history. He took more days off to golf than any president in history. And he spent 8 times the entirety of his presidential salary covering his golf trips. So all this, I'm going to give my salary to charity or back to the government, when in reality he ended up spending 8 times that amount just on his golf trips. And we'll put that aside for a second. But Trump is golf. Bedminster, Mar-a-Lago, the Scottish place, they're all golf courses. This is more important to him. His investments since his dad died have primarily been slapping his name on already built buildings and buying golf courses. That's it. And if anybody thinks that you can politically separate Trump from golf, the way you can go, yeah, I know Obama played basketball. He did do the ACA, though. That's how we do it. Yeah. The Pete Dye golf, he said, my dad always told us to respect the game, O'Donnell says. But that's the one part of the game that tells me what kind of person you are. You play the ball where it lies. So when O'Donnell's office colleague, the late Mark Edis, came back after his first round with Trump, O'Donnell couldn't resist asking, so does he improve his lie? Edis looked at him and threw his head back in laughter. Every shot but the tee shot. Every single shot after he tees off, he cheats. He's Judge Smales from Caddyshack. Trump doesn't just cheat at golf, he cheats like a 3-card Monte dealer. He throws it, boots it, moves it. He lies about his lies. He fudges and foozles and fluffs. Jesus Christ, this is written by Dr. Zeus. At Winged Foot, where Trump is a member, the caddies got so used to see him kick the ball back onto the fairway, they came up with a nickname for him. They called him Pele. They called him Pele because he. But please, Jesus, please tell me how the fact that Obama, like, nails three-pointers and never cheats. Never cheats. You can't, really. I mean, maybe that's why Trump chose golf over other sports, besides the fact that other sports you have to move quickly. Tennis requires too much. I'm trying to think of other, like, rich dickhead sports like tennis and squash, right? You can't do it. You're in a room or you're on a court. Everybody sees you. But in golf, it's a cheater's game.
Anyway, let's get back to the authenticity of Barack Obama
on the campaign trail. Can we get back to the authenticity of Trump on the campaign trail? You're not going to play clips of him saying he's going to get us out of Afghanistan? No? No, Greg, you're not going to do that?
campaign trail.
We ain't got time to be time.
Mm-hmm. He's motivating Democratic voters. And you know how many times when we've been talking about this stuff, I've tweeted a little bit, and I've caught some shit for it over the years about, like, you don't get points for being exhausted. You know, when people are like, oh, I'm so exhausted. Things are like, the world is so terrible, I'm exhausted. I'm so exhausted, or whatever. I'm like, we got to stop giving people points for being exhausted, because it becomes a point of pride. And once it becomes a point of pride, acting beyond that exhaustion doesn't help you socially. The overwhelm has to get worse, and then you don't actually end up getting anything done, right? Yeah.
We don't have time to be tired. What is required is sustained effort.
Right.
We don't have time to be what?
Oh, shit. Excuse you, Greg? What was that? Was that an impression of Obama's voice? Now, we saw you started off with your impression of Trump, nailed it. But what is?
It's sustained effort.
We don't have time to be what?
Fuck you. We don't have time to be what? What the fuck kind of buckwheat bullshit is this? What? Back this. Let's here. Okay.
We don't have time to be tired.
Okay, that I heard all the T's in there. Did you guys hear the T's that were time to be tired? I heard those, right? I heard the R, right?
What is required is sustained effort.
Yeah, I even heard the T in effort. Now, what is Greg Kelly going to take from what we just heard?
We don't have time to be what?
Hey, Greg, fuck you.
You don't fool us anymore. You never really fooled me.
Greg, no one cares.
Maybe for a little while, 2008, 2009.
Oh, shit. Did Greg Kelly just admit to voting for Obama and they cut him off? That was the edit. Maybe 2008, 2009. Greg Kelly voted for Obama just so he could get well, he's going to win anyways, and I can get I could say I voted for him once, so I get out of the whole, you know what I mean? That's my it's my get out of jail race card.
You don't fool us anymore. You never really fooled me. Maybe for a little while, 2008, 2009.
Shit. For fuck's sake. Oh, and by the way, yes. Obama's a great orator. Greg, not so much. Now, for the record, and by the way, I noticed we had some trolls today. Thank you guys for joining us today. The fact that you type something in is really helpful. Most time when we have trolls, they just kind of watch and grumble and cross their arms. But when you type something in, it adds to the algorithm. And again, we thank you for being here. Other shows will get upset and all that kind of stuff. Not here. None of us, nothing that's said upsets anyone in my chat. It's just the wrong place for it. I'm sorry. I know it works elsewhere, but here we just know it boosts the algorithm. So, hey, thanks. You know. Yes, apparently I'm a phony as well. Yes, I actually weigh 300 pounds, and this is all just a Snapchat filter. I'm bald. So, Christ, yeah. Now, we have to give Greg a little bit of leeway because he was obviously, he's been dealing with a lot lately. He's still getting over his bus trip. The bus?